Hello children, how are you all today? I hope you all are fit and fine. For today's English lesson, we are going to start a new chapter from your Mastering Grammar book. The second chapter, Nouns. Okay children, so in our first chapter, we had learned about a sentence, phrases, about clauses. We know some things that how when some group of words are properly arranged and they mean something either partially or completely, they form those sentences or phrases or clause. Now children, all sentences are made of some elements. They have some specific components. We have to identify each one of them to construct a better and a good sentence. So children, today the lesson that we are going to start is about nouns. Do you know what are nouns? If you don't, do not worry. We are going to discuss about nouns in detail in this chapter. Okay, we are going to learn about its kind and how we will identify which verb, singular or plural, to use with which kind of nouns. Okay children, so let's first move ahead with an example. Okay, I am giving you an example of a sentence. Okay, so if I said Shimla is a beautiful place. So yes children, from our first chapter sentences, we know that this can be grouped as a sentence. How? Because it has been arranged properly. There is a presence of verb. There is a subject and a predicate. We have used full stop at the end of the sentence. And this is an example of declarative sentence. So children, can you spot the noun here? Okay. About what? We are actually talking about something and we have called it by a name. So when you call things, people, animals, or any feelings, emotions with a name, you give a name to it. Okay, we call it by something, we call it by a name. Those words are called nouns. So any naming word, any word which is naming something, like my name is Shweta, so this word Shweta is a noun because you call me by this name, everyone calls me by this name. So Delhi is a place, right? So that is the name given to that place. So Delhi is now what? Is a noun. So children, now you know that noun is a naming word. It will give you names. You can call certain things, people, animals, places and things and emotions, feelings with certain names. Those words which are names of these things or people or animals or feelings are called nouns. Okay children, so it can be animated or inanimate objects as well. So it can have life and it can also not have life. Some things, some feelings, like you can't touch hatred or you can't touch happiness, right? So these things which cannot be touched but felt are also nouns. Okay, they have to be feelings. We name some feelings, right? If I like you, then you have a liking or likeness, right? So if there's brotherhood between us, if there's sisterhood between us, we give it a name that it's called sisterhood, means so loving and caring bond we share. So children, these names are called nouns. Very simple, right? I hope that won't be a problem. Now do you identify anything which is a name given to a place, thing, person here, or any feelings, anything like that? So children, we can see that Shimla is the name of a place here, right? So Shimla is a noun, right? Now this thing, place, we call any place, right? Place means a location, a place. So what is this word? Is this an adjective or preposition or verb? No, it's a noun because we are calling a location by this name place. So a place is actually a place, so it will be the location, or it will be the place you're talking about. So yes children, this is also a noun. So that won't be difficult for you to identify. Now children, we will be discussing about the different kinds of noun. After you learn to do it, after you learn to differentiate between all the kinds of nouns, it will be easier for you to understand when to use which noun. Okay, so let's get started with first classifying nouns into kinds. Okay, so let's differentiate it. So children, nouns, for kinds of noun, we know that kinds of noun are divided into 5 types. Okay, nouns exist in 5 different kinds. Let me begin with number 1 is our proper noun. Okay children, now second one is common noun. Third one is collective noun. Fourth one is material noun. And fifth one children is the abstract noun. Okay, so now why are they given these names and what each of them mean? So let me just give you a brief. After that we will be learning about them in detail. Now children, proper noun is actually those nouns which are names, specific names given to places, animals, people, persons or things or feelings. Okay, so they are actually not feelings, just name of people, animals, places and things. These 4 names, these 4 classification in nouns are actually proper nouns. For example, what did I tell you by this? When I am telling you that specific names, like your name, okay, you might be someone Ayush, okay, or some Shraddha. Okay, so children, we can give names to people, Mr. Sharma, Mrs. Kulkarni. So these names to people, to persons are proper noun. Okay, we have to call them by a specific name, so we know that we are talking about that person only. A single name person can be a lot of people, because you know the population of our country. We cannot have specific and unique names for each one of us. So yes children, proper noun is something, is the names given to people, persons or names of places, animals or things. Okay children, we can, like, if you want to call your teddy bear Chotu, okay, so that is also a proper noun. But the word teddy bear, because teddy bear are many, teddy bears are many, so because they are general, we are calling all teddy bears teddy bears. So that would be another kind of noun that we'll be talking in our next noun. Okay, that's common noun. Okay children, so now if you have called your dog Tommy, Tommy is a proper noun. But dog, because dog is any animal which looks like a dog, right? So all animals, dogs, all animals are called dogs only. We can specify their name and those names will be in proper noun. But generally what we call them, like I am a girl, so you are calling all girls girls only. But when I am Shweta, you are not calling every girl Shweta, right? So that is the thing. This is a specific name and this one is general one. So you classify like this, we call all general with this name, like I am a teacher, okay? I am a teacher. Any other teacher can also be a teacher. Any teacher is called teacher only. So that would be a common noun, whereas a specific name given to that teacher will be a proper noun. So children, let's see some examples here. Let me say I'm using Rohit. Rohit is a name. Then name of a person. Then Delhi. Delhi is a name of a place. Then let me name an animal. Okay, curry. Curry was there, na, in your alien handbook. So let's call curry. So curry is a proper noun. Now we have a lot of things. Again, you can call something by some name, but no, things we won't specify. Name of people, animal, places, okay? Sheetal. So a lot of nouns are there, proper nouns are there. Any place's name, any monument's name, like the Taj Mahal. So that would be also a proper noun. So anything which is specifically named that those words or those nouns are called proper nouns. Now children, let me move to the common noun. Let me use another color for this because that will help you see better. So now for common noun, what did I tell you? That it's used in a general sense. Like girl. Girl is called girl only, whatever her name may be. So girl, boy, doctor, teacher. Okay, all these words are nouns and they are in general nouns. Okay, here also we have seen an example. Shimla is a beautiful place. The word place can mean anything. All places in general are called place only. So that's why this is common noun. Okay, a lot of words are there. If you want to dress a name also, like dhoti, these all words are in, all dhotis are called dhotis only. So there are number of common nouns. We have a variety of common nouns. Mostly we see that we use the general one. The common nouns in writing are like apples, right? Apple is a name of a fruit, but we don't write it in capital letter because it is not only a name, specific name given to one apple, but all the apples are called with that name only, apple. So apples are in common noun and not in proper one. Okay children, so let me underline this one with red so that you can see it. Now children, moving to the third one, collective nouns. This one I think we had discussed in a chapter. So this one, collective noun, are used when you are talking about a group of people or things or animals, anything. Okay, a group particularly, a name given to a group or collection. From that only we have the name collective. When you are taking things together and you are naming it something, like we can say a pack of cards. The cards 52 one, that one. Pack of wolves. When wolves are together, when they are alone, they are called wolf only. When they are alone, they will be called with the name wolf. And wolf is not a proper noun, it's a common noun until you name that wolf. So a pack of wolves, this word pack is a noun. But what it is signifying? It is signifying a collection of wolves. That means a group of wolves together. So this will be a collective noun. Okay children, so yes, collective noun is specifically to the specific names given to group of what? Group of people, animals, things, okay, anything. So it is specifically used for group of thing. Okay, so you should know this thing. Now moving to material noun. What is a material noun? Children, we know certain things are made up of some other things. We do not just get one complete object or a thing by just mixing one item. So whatever ingredients or items we are making the things of, suppose this is made of plastic, so that plastic, that word plastic is a material noun. Okay children, so if you are using ink here, so ink also can be a material noun. So ingredients, especially whatever we are making things of, if a cloth is of cotton, if you are saying that the cloth is made of cotton or the dress is made of cotton, so that word cotton is the material noun, the material by which that thing is prepared, the main ingredient that goes into the making of an object or a thing. Okay, so this is actually the ingredients present in a thing. Okay, like cotton, silk, even water, because water can be an ingredient in any recipe. Water, milk, okay, all these objects, especially jute, cotton, silk. Then we have sugar, salt, all those spices we have, all those things are ingredients or some components of an object, of a recipe. Plastic, glass, all those can be our material noun. Now children, moving to this one, abstract noun. There are some nouns, children, which are certain feelings. Okay, they are feelings called with specific name, like those feelings which you cannot touch, those things you cannot touch is classified, is put under the head of the abstract noun. Suppose you have a lot of happiness. Okay, happiness, the word happiness is a noun, and which kind of noun is that? Because you cannot touch it, you can just feel it. Okay, you can show it, you can express it, but no one can come and touch your happiness. So children, that way which feelings, emotions are untouched, unseen, actually you cannot see also. So those words, those nouns are called abstract nouns. Like your wisdom, that cannot be touched, so it can be felt. I can actually feel that you are wise enough, but I cannot touch it. Those words which are not seen or not touched, those words, those nouns are called abstract nouns. So these are specially feelings or emotions. Okay children, so those words which will be expressing feelings or emotions, those nouns, so they will be our abstract noun. Like I gave you examples: wisdom, knowledge. Okay, then you have happiness, privacy. All these words, children, cannot be touched, can only be felt, or just you can express it in some or other way. These are words, these are nouns. We call certain things, like we call, when you are intelligent or when you have good decision making skill, then we call you wise, then we say that you have wisdom. So that name given to your skill, to your knowledge, is your wisdom. So we call it by that name, and that cannot be touched. So it is an abstract noun. Okay children, now moving to the exercise that follows. I think there's an exercise right after the explanation, right after you have been explained of all the nouns, all the kind of nouns. So now children, let's move to the first exercise of this chapter. We will be doing that. Let's complete it. Which is the first exercise? I won't be writing the questions. That's on page number, okay, the first page only, page 14. Okay, let me write the page number, page 14. You have been asked to identify the different kinds of nouns here, and you have to also write the names of it. So let's do it. The first example is Dhoni is a good batsman. Number 1, Dhoni is a good batsman. Okay children, So now let's see. First we have to spot the noun, children. We can see two nouns here, but only Dhoni has been underlined. So Dhoni is a good batsman, is also a noun, but they haven't asked us about batsman, so we are not going to write about this as well. But let me tell you, this is a common noun because all batsmen, not only Dhoni, is known with this name only. If they are batting, if they bat, so they are known as batsman only. Even Virat Kohli, Rahul Dravid, they were batsmen, they are batsmen, right? So children, this Dhoni, I have given this name to a particular person. Okay, I know this person by this name. So Dhoni is a proper noun and not a common noun. So what will be the answer? The answer will be proper noun. So you are going to write that Dhoni is a proper noun. Okay, children. Now moving to the next question, number 2. What is the question? He has a good knowledge of cricket. Now children, in this one, no word is underlined. I think I saw the book and no word was underlined. So we will first spot the nouns and then we will clearly say which noun is that. So he has a good knowledge of cricket. He has a good knowledge of cricket. Let's see, let's spot the nouns here. I told you this word knowledge is an abstract noun. Why? Because we cannot touch it. So knowledge is a noun here. We are talking about knowledge. This is the noun, good knowledge. And also cricket is a noun here. Okay, this is a common noun because cricket is known by that name only. That's why we are not writing it in capital letter. I did not tell you that all proper nouns are written in capital letter only. Like the name of monuments, the name of places, the names of lakes, rivers, oceans, continents are all written in capital letters because they are proper nouns. So for proper nouns, and one more place I told you that we are going to use capital letter is at the beginning of every sentence we have to write it in capital letter. Like I had begun this sentence here in 1 and 2. Dhoni is a name, so it is a proper noun and that's why it's in capital. Here he is not a proper noun, but still we have written it in capital. Why? Because it is the sentence is beginning with he. Okay, so we won't use capital letter right in the middle. We have just used here for he because it is starting the sentence. This letter is starting the sentence. That's why we have to write it in capital letter. Now children, he has a good knowledge of cricket. Cricket is also a noun. Knowledge here. Knowledge is an abstract noun. Why? Because we cannot touch it. We can only, we even cannot see it. We can only feel it. We can only feel the presence of knowledge. Abstract noun. And cricket, children, I am writing both of it because they haven't asked us which one. So cricket, children, is a common noun. Okay. Now moving to the next one, number 3. Okay. Now third question is Ravi is a man of great wisdom. Ravi and wisdom had been underlined. Let's write it down. Ravi is a man of great wisdom. The first word that has been underlined is Ravi and the second word that has been underlined is wisdom. So now Ravi is a name of a person. What did I tell you? When you give a name to a person or animal or a place or monument or a thing, then that is a proper noun. So Ravi will be a proper noun. Okay, children? Whereas wisdom Wisdom is untouchable. Wisdom is telling about someone's knowledge, someone is wise or not about their skill. So this is an abstract noun. It cannot be touched. Okay children, so here we have this is an abstract noun. Moving to the fourth question. For making the dessert, we need sugar, milk and honey. Okay children, now see, this is also a good example for making a dessert. Children, this desert is not that arid region that we find in Rajasthan or in all dry areas. Okay, not that which is full of sand, not that the one which we had studied in our alien handbook, not that desert, but this desert means a sweet dish. Okay, for making a dessert, we need sugar, milk and honey. So remember, I told you about ingredients that we use in a particular dish or to make a certain thing. Remember, what did I tell you about those kind of nouns? Which nouns were those? Yes, material nouns. Let's write it down. So there's no space. Still I will be writing it here. Let's see. I can erase this one and write it down. So let me write this question again on top. For making a dessert, that's number 4. For making a dessert, we need sugar, milk and honey. So what are the lines that are marked? Dessert, sugar, milk and honey. So this word sugar, milk and honey. Now children, dessert is known as dessert for every sweet dish. If it's even a pudding or any other sweet dish that you are making, ice cream is even a dessert. Okay, so yes. Now children, so this is a common noun because it is a name given to generally every sweet dish. Okay, so this is used in general term. That's why we will be writing dessert is what? It's a common noun. And you can see, I told you about ingredients of certain things. Sugar, milk and honey is going to be the ingredient for the dessert that they are going to make. So these ingredients are called material noun. So sugar, milk, honey, all these are elements, are key ingredients in the recipe. So that's why they are the material noun. Okay children, so they are the material noun. Now moving to the 5th question. A herd of cattle greeted the farmer in his backyard. The underlined word is the cattle. Okay, let's write it down. Number 5th. This is going to be the last question for today that we are doing. A herd of cattle greeted the farmer in his backyard. So the underlined word is cattle. Children, here you can see we have two collective nouns. Cattle is in fact a name given to a group of cows, buffaloes, anything, right? These two things are known as cattle, the milk giving animals here. So cattle can be buffaloes or cows. So this can be either a collective noun or a common noun, but in most cases we take this as a collective noun only. In the same sentence we can see we have another word here, herd, H-E-R-D. So children, this one is also a collective noun. And we have been asked about cattle, so we are going to write about it. So there's various, children. Some where you will see it's collective noun, somewhere you will see that it's common noun, but because it's a group, that's why we will be writing that it's a collective noun. Group of cows or buffaloes, that's why we will be writing it as collective noun only. Now children, for today we are done with your lesson, we are done with your chapter. I hope you do some more exercises to understand or to identify the nouns in the sentence. We will meet again with another lesson on in our next video. Okay children, till then please take care of yourself and your family. Bye bye.